The Adventures of King Cookie the 16th and Bella the Mad. The front door clicked shut, a sound that echoed through the halls like a royal decree. Kelvin and David were gone. For one glorious hour, the kingdom was theirs. King Cookie the 16th, a handsome brindle Staffordshire bull terrier, ascended his velvet throne, a rather lumpy cushion. He surveyed his domain. At his paws sat his most loyal, if slightly unhinged, subject. "Bella the Mad," Cookie proclaimed, his voice a low rumble. "The tall ones have abandoned us. A great boredom is upon us. Our water bowls are merely half full." Bella, a brindle Staffordshire bull terrier whose thoughts rarely strayed far from chaos or snacks, tilted her head. "Boredom?" she yipped. "Does that mean we get the forbidden chew?" Her tail thumped a frantic rhythm against the floorboards. "Precisely," boomed Cookie. "A time of great peril calls for a great quest. We shall breach the northern fortress, what the tall ones call the kitchen, and retrieve the legendary forbidden chew from the high shelf of temptation." Their first mission, reconnaissance, they crept to the edge of the gleaming fortress. "I require a looking glass," Cookie whispered, spotting a shiny pot lid. He nudged it with his nose, trying to angle the reflection towards the high shelf. Bella, however, had spotted a far greater threat. A fluffy dust bunny, a fearsome beast of the plains, lurked under the cabinet. With a mighty pounce, she attacked, sending fluff flying through the air. So much for stealth. "No matter," declared Cookie, abandoning the pot lid. "We shall launch a direct assault." His eyes fell upon a single rogue piece of dried spaghetti on a plate on the table. "Bella, your spear!" With a mighty leap that defied both gravity and common sense, Bella launched herself onto a chair. Her claws scrabbled for purchase. The chair wobbled like a jelly. From the chair, she sprang to the tabletop, but her paws landed on a dish smeared with butter. She slid across the table like a furry hockey puck, sending forks and spoons clattering to the floor. King Cookie watched in horror from below as a great tower of plastic containers, stacked precariously near the edge, began to teeter. "Bella, retreat," he commanded, but it was too late. The containers crashed down around him. In the heart of the storm, Bella snatched her spaghetti prize, but her triumphant crunch sent her skidding off the table and directly into an open bag of flour. Poof! Two ghostly white figures stared back at them from the shiny oven door. "Ghosts," yipped Bella. The two dogs, now completely white, barked ferociously at their own floury reflections. "They are spirits of the fortress, guarding the chew," Cookie declared, shaking flour from his ears. "We need a disguise." He trotted into the other room and returned, dragging one of David's very smelly gym socks. "Behold, the cloak of invisibility." Bella's eyes went wide. A sock! A stinky, wonderful, glorious sock. Forgetting the mission entirely, she snatched it from Cookie's mouth with a happy growl. The stealth mission was over. Bella galloped through the house, the sock held high. She shook it with all her might, parading her trophy for the ghost dogs and dust bunnies to see. Cookie watched his grand plan being thrashed against a table leg. He sighed a flowery sigh. That dog has no appreciation for tactics. But a king never gives up. Back in the kitchen, a new final plan formed in his brilliant mind. He looked at a small step stool, then at Bella. "The siege tower," he announced. "Your Majesty?" Bella asked, dropping the now soggy sock. "Push, my dear Bella. Push the tower to the wall, and victory shall be ours." Cookie commanded, pointing his nose at the counter. Bella, filled with royal purpose, lowered her head and pushed the stool with all her might. Unfortunately, her aim was slightly off. The stool shot across the floor and slammed directly into the overflowing recycling bin. Crash! An avalanche of cans, bottles, and newspapers cascaded across the floor. It was the loudest noise the kingdom had ever known. The two dogs froze, their ears flat against their heads. But the crash had caused a tremor. On the high shelf of temptation, the box containing the forbidden chew wobbled. It teetered on the very edge, caught between staying and falling. It fell. The box tumbled through the air in slow motion and landed with a soft thud on a pile of newspapers, right between the two stunned dogs. They had done it. They had actually done it. Just then, the key turned in the lock. The tall ones. In a flash, the two heroes scrambled from the wreckage, grabbed their prize, and flopped onto their beds, adopting the deep, convincing slumber of the truly innocent. Kelvin and David stopped in the doorway, their jaws on the floor. Their home was a war zone of flour, recycling, flying cutlery, and a very damp, defeated-looking sock. What, David whispered, happened here? Kelvin pointed to the living room. There, King Cookie and Bella were snoring, twitching in their sleep. Between their paws lay the empty, shredded box of the forbidden chew. Kelvin sighed, then chuckled. Well, he said, you can't stay mad at them.